Oh.
All right. So what you need to do? Go to Onshape. Sign in. If you haven't signed in yet, you should have. I need you to sign in with the generic account. You're going to go to your folder, and you're going to make a folder called Automoblox. Now, I understand some of you are like, I don't know how to spell that. That's okay. Where's my Mr. Biggles folder? There it is. All right. I'm going to help you. I'm going to create a folder. Automoblox. It's like roadblocks, but better. You're going to create this folder. Okay? We're good? Yes, say yeah?
Yes.
Now, you have two choices here. I want you to make a folder regardless, but you got a couple options. And I need you to really hear me on this before you make a choice. Option 1, you make a separate document that is in file for each part. Option 2, you make one document and then you just use a separate tab for each part. Now, for the puzzle cube, we did that second option. Remember, we made one file, right? And we made a separate tab for each part. And that was great for the puzzle cube. Here's what I have found in the past. People's work was not getting saved. So if you are doing the CAD work on your Chromebook, I would encourage you to make a separate file for each part. If you're doing it on the laptop where the internet connection is better, then you probably are fine making a single file and just doing each part in a separate tab. Do we understand? Yes or yeah? I don't care what you do, make your decision. Doesn't matter to me, but you have been warned that if you do it all in one file, I have found with a few students in the past, not many, sometimes just like they would do like an hour's worth of work and then like the next day just it was all gone. And the people who had a separate file never had that problem. I don't know if it was because there was too much trying to be opened over the bandwidth. I don't really know. I just know that using the Chromebooks was part of the problem, and having really complicated files, multiple parts in each file, was also not helpful. I am going to just use a single document, but I still put it in a folder. Okay? Because if you have multiple documents, I definitely want them in a folder. So I'm going to call this my Automoblox Car. And I'm going to make each tab a different part. If you are making each part in its own file, then the name of the file would be the name of the part. And the first part that we are going to work with is called the passenger section or main body or whatever you really want to call it. But it is the piece of wood that the people ride in. Now, I know everybody's car is different, so you're going to have to kind of, do you. You're not all going to have exactly the same thing, but most of what I'm showing you is going to mostly apply to most of us. We understand? And that's all that matters. So this piece right here is what we are making. It's the middle section. It holds some passengers. It does not have any holes for wheels. Okay, it's a middle section. No wheels on this. We understand? Yes or yeah?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to bust out those calipers. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a height and a width for this. Yes? Yeah, yeah? Yeah, yeah, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our heights and widths should all be pretty similar. I'm going to tell you right now, in most cases, I would not worry about getting more precise than 1 millimeter. Just trust me on that. It's not worth it. So, I'm measuring the width of my passenger section. I'm going to go around, I'm going to talk to you all about what I'm measuring and how I'm measuring it. So notice that both of my teeth are flush with that surface. Do you see that? I'm not measuring like this down here. I'll tell you why this is a bad idea. Because how do you know you're not doing this? Do you see the issue of this? So if you measure flush with a surface, you won't have that issue. You ready for this? If you go a step further, You can measure like this, yeah?
Mhm.
But that doesn't change the fact that you can still be at an angle. So one thing that I've done sometimes is I'll actually go at an angle. This is kind of like one of those pro tips here. And I kind of line it up with the edge. And I find that this sometimes helps me get it a little more straight. I try to line up with that edge by having these teeth kind of at an angle. Notice that my teeth are kind of at an angle, right? And then I just ballpark, make sure that it's lined up perfectly with that edge. Okay? You do you, but that's my recommendation. You need a width, you need a height. We're going to make a rectangle. And I'm going to show you how we're going to make a rectangle. Okay? For my width, I got about 81.
Mm-hmm.
And for my height, I got about 39. So 81, 39. So I'm going to make a sketch on the front plane. Which plane?
Front.
And I'm going to do a center point rectangle. Remember, you have a drop down arrow near all these tools. Center point rectangle. Yeah.
That let me get on some folder.
I don't know until you lose internet. You can bring your thing here, dude. I don't know. Don't mess with that. So, what's up?
I'm creating it.
Well, you got to name it.
That's what I did. Soon
Are you in my folder? Owned by me.
Like Myers.
Cat and 3D print. Folder. You have a folder, yes? Go in your folder. And then here's your folder.
Yes.
I'll go in there. I make your file in here.
What'd you get for your?
I don't know what you're looking at, but this is your folder.
I got like 30 minutes.
We good?
So that is the document.
Yes. Center point rectangle.
I think we have some different curves. Oh.
I have a width of 81. I believe I said a height of 39. Is that correct? I don't know.
I think.
I think it's what I said. You can measure it again. So I got a height of 39, something like that. Let me double check that.
39.
Yeah.
38.
38 points on that round's 39, yeah.
Yeah.
The width is 81. Notice I lined up the center of my rectangle with the origin. Okay? We see that? Yes, say yeah?
Yeah.
That allows me to benefit from symmetry later on. This part has a lot of symmetry, so that's a good thing. Now, you may notice that the corners are rounded. Unfortunately, folks, we're going to have to ballpark some of these measurements. Okay? So I want you to get your calipers out, and you're going to ballpark kind of like the radius of these curves. Okay? So you kind of just have to like ballpark the radius of the curve. Basically, you're measuring how wide the curvy part is and stopping once it gets to the straight part. Okay? It's very ballparky. I know it's not ideal. Do your best. Me personally, I'm getting a number somewhere around maybe 8. I don't know. Somewhere around there. What numbers you guys estimate for your curves? I'm getting a width of about 8.
Yeah, about 8.
All right. Well, we're going to move on. In the sketch, right here is a sketch fillet. This is live streaming, so it's recording everything you say. Yeah, so be quiet. Good talk. So the sketch fillet right here rounds corners. So if you click on it, watch carefully what I do here. I can click on a corner and it'll round that corner, or I can click on two edges that meet at a corner and it'll still round that corner. Okay? Either or. Once you have selected all the corners, do you see how by your cursor there's a picture of a mouse with a green check mark over the left mouse button? Do we see that?
Yeah.
That means that you're supposed to left click off an empty space to confirm those are the four corners that you are filleting. All right? So I'm going to show that one more time. I made a center point rectangle. Ladies, go somewhere else. Don't die out there. And to do your fillets, you can click on either two adjacent edges or you can click on a corner. Click on all four corners first, and then you'll notice as you hover over empty space, you get that picture of a mouse. You left click an empty space. That confirms the fillets, and then you can type in the number, which is the radius, and I ballparked it to be about 8. You can edit this radius later, but the thing is, by selecting all four of those corners and then left clicking, all four are tied to each other now. They're all the exact same size. To prove this point, if I double click here and I make it 20, yeah. Okay. Are we good? Yeah, maybe, possibly.
Almost.
Is it sketch fillet?
What?
Is it sketch fillet?
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Let's use my.
Now, before we move any further, double check. If you're using a single file and you're going to make each part a new tab, make sure your file is called Automoblox Car. Let's make our tab named after the part. Rename. You can call this whatever you want, but it should be an intelligent choice. Main body, passenger section. Either or. Always rename sketches. So this should be main body profile is what I'm calling it, because this is the main body and this is the profile that gives a shape for it. Tomorrow we're going to extrude this. We're going to add the pinstripes. We're going to make the hole up top. We'll even add a little bit of the plastic that's already glued to it that kind of connects it to other pieces. We'll finish this piece tomorrow and then we'll just continue.